Hey guys, in this video I'm going to explain function expressions. A function expression is a function without a name, also known as an anonymous function. A benefit is that function expressions help us to avoid polluting the global scope with random function names. We can write a function and then forget about it. If I need to create a function to display a greeting message using a function declaration, I would need to think of a unique function name, such as function. How about the say hello function? Console.log hello. Then to invoke this function, I just type the function name followed by a set of parentheses. Boom, we have our function. So it can get somewhat tedious and annoying to think of unique function names, especially if the rest of your program is not going to use it. Another way that we could write this is to use a function expression, and we will store that within a variable. I will use the const keyword this time. Const is just a variable that you can't change the value of later. Const greeting, and I will set this equal to a function expression. We will type function, parentheses, curly braces, and we do not need to think of a unique function name. What would we like to do? Console.log hello. Then to invoke the function stored within this variable, I just type the variable name followed by a set of parentheses to invoke it. Hello. So there was no need to think of a unique function name. We can assign an anonymous function to a variable or some other entity, which we'll discuss in the future. Here's another example. We'll create a counter. Using two buttons, we can increase or decrease our counter. Heading to our HTML file, let's create a label and two buttons. We'll need an opening label tag, close it, add a line break. I will set the ID of this label to myLabel. I'll add some text, just 0. We'll need two buttons, button, close it. The ID of this first button will be decreaseButton. The text will be decrease, and we'll need an increase button. Copy this, paste it, change decrease to increase, and we have our two buttons. If we were using function declarations, we would need to think of two unique names to link to these two buttons. Using function declarations, we would probably say something like function increase count. And we need a count variable. Let count equal 0. We will increment count by 1, count plus equals 1, and change the text of this label. So we need to select it, document.getElementById. We are selecting myLabel, change the innerHTML equal to count. Then we will create a decrease count function. Function decrease count. Count minus equals 1. Lastly, we just need to link these buttons to these functions. There is an onclick event attribute. Beginning with the decrease button, take the onclick attribute, set this equal to the appropriate function. Decrease count, add a set of parentheses, copy this, paste it for increase button, and we will select the increase count function. Let's save and run this. So with this label, we can increase it and decrease it. However, I think this would be better with function expressions. We don't need to declare two functions, such as increase count and decrease count. We can assign some function expressions to these buttons and then simply forget about them. I'm going to get rid of both of these functions, and we will create some function expressions. Let's select this increase button. I'll just copy what we have here. Increase button dot on click. Set this equal to a function expression. What would we like to do? These two lines of code. Increase count by 1 and change our label. Let's copy this function expression, paste it, do the same thing but with the decrease button. Decrease button, decrement count by 1, and change our label. We can get rid of this previous code. Let's save. Heading back to our HTML file, we can also get rid of these onclick event attributes. Okay, save everything, and this should work. We can increase our label and decrease it, and there is no need to create two unique function names. we were able to assign function expressions to the event attribute of an HTML element. So those are function expressions. If you would like a copy of this code, I'll post this in the comment section down below. Don't be afraid to smash that like button, leave a random comment down below, and subscribe if you'd like to become a fellow bro.